सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तगोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। We are currently studying the verses by Adi Shankaracharya in Viveka Chudamani on the topic of Adhikaritvam, or the qualifications necessary for a student and seeker of moksha. What is the preparedness? So Acharya Shankara starts from the 14th shloka up to 30th shloka, unfolding the fourfold qualifications of sadhana chatushtayam. So they are also commonly known as the 4 Ds. The first D, Vivekaha, followed by dispassion, Vairagyam, then Shakka Sampattihi, 6-fold disciplines, and finally desire for moksha or mumukshutvam. Now we have completed the Shakka Sampattihi in the last session. So just a short recap. What is Vivekaha? The Vivekaha Acharya explains as Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. The Vinishchayaha or discriminative understanding. Brahma, that is the independently existing Satyavastu, is non-negatable, and Jagat, which is subject to change, is Anityavastu or Mithya. So we see there is variety in the Jagat, there is plurality, there is diversity, but there is no stability. So this is the Viveka stage. Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha. Now this will automatically lead the seeker to Vairagyam. How did Acharya define Vairagyam? As Jihasa. Jihasa means something is given up. So when the desire is given up to enjoy objects either in this world, iha, or amutra, elsewhere, at a later date, in some distant loka, svargaloka, that icharahityam is called vairagyam. Now, vairagyam is not turning away in disgust, but it is rather a healthy approach to life with objectivity. That is, without Shobhana Adhyasa. Shobhana Adhyasa means when I have an exaggerated value about anything in the world. Relationships, they also come and go, they change, they disperse. But if I take any one thing like money or property or relationships and expect permanent security or happiness, then that is called Shobhana Adhyasa. So Vairagyam is that internal detachment, freedom from expectation and dependence. So these are the first 2 Ds. Then the third D is a collection of 6-fold disciplines, also known as the Shakka Sampattihi. Shamadamadi Shakka Sampattihi, starting with Shamaha. Shamaha is the mastery of the mind. That is, pulling the mind away from all the external objects and making it abide at the source. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga, we have seen a whole shloka on this. Yato yato nischarate manaschanchalam asthiram tatastato niyam yetat atmanyeva vasham nayet. Arjuna, whenever the mind goes away to some object, some distracting thought. It can be an internal distracting thought or external object, a Vishayaha. Then bring it back. Bring it back repeatedly to the source, the center, the Atma Tattvam. And dosha drishtya, by seeing the limitation of finite perishable objects in the world. Shamaha. Then we have damaha. Damaha is at the level of the sense organs. So damaha is really the tapas. The tapas is the restraint of the sense organs and making them abide in their respective locations, golakas. That is damaha. Damaha is followed by uparatihi. Uparatihi or uparamaha, the meaning is withdrawal. Withdrawal just means bahya analambanam vrittehe, Acharya says, which means that absence of leaning or absence of a psychological dependence on an external object. Again, by realizing the futility, realizing the impermanence and the limitation. Then after Uparatihi, we saw the value of Titiksha. Titiksha is the power of endurance. The capacity to endure a challenging, choiceless situation in life without complaining, cheerfully, without lamentation. So our prarabdha is going to unfold sukham and dukham for everyone. So how are we going to go through those situations? We can choose to be proactive and not react, to see them all as manifestations of Ishvara and some lesson for me to learn. But again, this does not mean that I become a doormat and put up with every kind of behavior so that anybody can say or trample upon me. No. This is to do with my own prarabdha karma. Then we saw the important qualification of Shraddha. Now, Shraddha was defined as avadharana, or the understanding that Shastras are the only pramana to give me moksha vidya. That is, Shraddha is the trust in the words of the Guru, unfolding the Shastra. So it is the open, trusting mind. Supposing I say, all of you look at the beautiful lotus in the palm of my hand. Now you will all wonder. You will not accept this statement. There is a contradiction. Because you have Shraddha in the Chakshurindriyam Pramanam. That is the Pratyaksha Pramana. The eyes are reporting there is the palm, all right, but no lotus. So, you will not accept that statement. But if I told you now, look at this beautiful mala. Rose with rose in it. Yeah. Then now what will you say? The eyes report the data about the mala and you will also be able to accept it. So this is called having Shraddha in the capacity of your eyes. So here in this value, Acharya says that, can I have such a complete trust in the words of the Shastra unfolded by the Guru? So such a pramana buddhi, such a satya buddhi is called Shraddha. And definitely nobody will be able to accept everything all at once. Yeah. There will be some statements which we are unable to accept. Yeah. But if I have Shraddha, then I will be patient and examine myself instead of dismissing the Shastra or the Guru. Very important topic. This is Shraddha. Then the last value we saw was Samadhanam. Samyak Adhanam. That was defined by Acharya as Thapanam. Placing the mind in Shuddhe Brahmani, in the pure Nirguna Brahma Tattvam. This also we saw in the Gita. Atma samstam manakritva nakinchidapi chintayet. When the mind steadily abides in the source, without getting distracted, Tailadharavat, like the flow of oil, there are no breaks. That state of absorption, chitta ekagrata, is called samadhanam. So these were the six-fold disciplines collectively called as Shatka Sampatti. Now we are going to see the fourth and the last D, desire for liberation or mumukshutvam. And here we will begin with the verse number 27. Acharya defines what is mumukshutvam. Ahankaradidehantan bandhanajnanakalpitan swaswarupavabodhena muktumichhamumukshuta. Now Acharya is defining mumukshuta. The word mumukshuta or mumukshutvam mean the same. And says ahankar adi dehan tan bandhan ajnana kalpitan swaswarupa avabodhena moktum ichha mumukshuta. So here Acharya defines moksha or the mumukshutvam as the desire to give up something, tyaga. To give up what? All that we are going to see. Now, we have seen already that a human being is eligible to perform or to pursue the fourfold purusharthas in life: dharma, artha, kama and moksha. Now, why does a human being become artharthi, kamarthi, dharmarthi? Why does one pursue artha, kama, dharma? And the answer is seeking freedom from insecurity. Now, all of us, we desire or have desired name, fame, status, relationships, a home, wealth, possessions, punyam, all these pursuits through artha, kama and dharma. In order to be free from insecurity, free from unhappiness, either in this life or to secure it in a future life in some other loka. Now Shastras want us to examine that who is this I that is insecure, that is feeling limited, who is struggling for approval, struggling for acceptance, who's anxious and restless and traveling all the time. What is the nature of this I, and is the I now secure? Is the I now happy? So Shastras ask us to explore that. And what do we find? Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmanaha nirvedam ayat. So this brahmanaha, sattvaguna pradhana brahmanaha, having examined all the pursuits and the accomplishments in life, has discovered that any amount of anitya karma phalam, the finites, cannot give me the infinite, because one continues to seek. So the fundamental sense of insecurity has not gone away. This is the mumukshu stage. Yeah? And on the contrary, in fact, despite all the accomplishments in life, there is insecurity continues, seeking continues, unhappiness and struggle continues. So here in this shloka, Shankaracharya is pointing out that this is the bondage. Tan bandhan, the bondage that is centered on ahankara onwards. Ahankara adi dehan tan bandhan. Who is the ahankara? The I notion. The I notion placed in the anatma bodies. So the I, when it is placed in the body and the mind, and through the body to all our possessions and people, what are the conclusions? I am tall, I am short, dark, fair, tired, angry, restless, frustrated, disappointed, successful, ignorant, guilty, hurt, and so on. We have so many conclusions and notions. I'm young, I'm old, I'm mortal, I'm aging. So this is what Acharya says, ahankaradi dehan tan bandhan. This is the sense of bondage because of the misplaced I notion. And that is why it is ajnana kalpitan. It is a result of ignorance, because the Shastra says you are Purnam. You are of the nature of fullness. So you are not what you take yourself to be. This limited, finite, struggling, karta, bhokta, sukhi, dukhi, jiva. No, you are Atma, Brahma, Purnam. But because of Ajnanam, this is all Kalpita, projected. Yeah. Now look at our state in deep sleep. Yeah, in Sushupti Avastha, is there any bondage? Is there any samsara? No. There is no world, no ahankara, no body, no mind, and hence all of us enjoy the moksha swarupa atma in deep sleep. No complaints, no struggle, but we are enjoying the non-dual atma passively, ignorantly in deep sleep. So that is the shloka here, that defining mumukshutvam as the tyaga, giving up of ignorance. Avidya nivritti is moksha. Many people are not even sure about the moksha pursuit. There is a lot of confusion about moksha. What is moksha? Is it in a Svargaloka after this life? No. Acharya says moksha is the desire to be free. And that freedom can only come from knowledge. Knowledge of Atma Brahma. So jnanameva moksha. And that is what Acharya says, swaswarupava bodhena. There cannot be a more compact answer In one word, Swaswarupa Avabodhena. By gaining the knowledge of the Swarupananda, there is the freedom from bondage. So, mumuksha, that is desire to be free, has to be converted into jijnasa, desire to know. And by knowledge alone can one gain moksha, because the bondage is notional. The bondage is ajnana kalpita, imagined. If the bondage was real, we could never remove it. But because it is notional, then one has to bring in knowledge to remove the ajnanam. Ahankaradidehantan bandhan ajnana kalpitan swaswarupavabodhena muktumichhamumukshuta. Now, in the 28th next shloka, Acharya talks about how mumukshutvam is the most important of the fourfold qualifications. Mandamadhyamarupapi vairagyena shamadina prasadaguro seyam pravriddha suyate phalam. Manda madhyama rupa api vairagyena shamadina prasada guroho sa iyam pravriddha suyate phalam. Now Shankaracharya is saying here that without mumukshutvam, the desire to be free, there cannot be a serious pursuit of moksha. Seeking knowledge will be only very casual, will be an academic or intellectual approach alone. So one must have a value for moksha. And so here Acharya is talking about, what if the mumukshutvam is not up to the mark? What if it is manda? Manda means a feeble, lukewarm desire for liberation. That is, moksha is not, in the top 10 of my, to do a priority list. Yeah. Yes, I am interested, but at the moment I have other important things to do. Then, in that case, the approach to Shravanam and Mananam will also be casual. So, when the mumukshutvam is manda, feeble, or madhyama is mediocre, then the mind will have many excuses, not to attend classes, like illness, travel. Oh, it is Adi Vellikarma, so I have puja. Or there's an IPL cricket match. There are guests at home. I have to prepare dinner. I have to complete my exercise program. There's no power. Internet is, the bandwidth is not okay. So many excuses will be there, and the approach will be casual if the mumukshutvam is manda or madhyama. But then Acharya says that manda madhyama mumukshutvam, even though it's like a tiny flame, it can grow bigger. Sa iyam pravriddha. Pravriddha means there can be vriddhi, there can be growth. How? Vairagyena, by having that detachment, that is passion discussed earlier, vairagyena, and shamadina, by developing the shamadamadi shatka sampattihi, the checklist there. And the third important factor is guru prasada. Guru Kripa. Now, Prasada Guroho Sa. That Sa means Mumukshutvam. Iyam Pravriddha Suyate Phalam. And it will bear phalam. So, we all know that how the Guru Kripa can bless us infinitely. The Guru Kripa has the power to transform the mind of the Shishya. Do you remember the story of Totakacharya? How Totaka was a simple, student of Adi Shankaracharya with a lot of Guru Bhakti and Shraddha. But he was not very highly intelligent or, academically proficient. But when Guru Adi Shankaracharya blessed his mind, he got elevated to the status of Sureshwaracharya, Hastamalakacharya, Padmapadacharya also. That is what, a Guru Kripa can do for the Shishya. Yeah? And the Guru's prayers will be for the Shishya's well-being always. Yeah? And so, the Guru Kripa is in the form of guidance in the form of the teachings. Yeah? The Guru Kripa can make all the obstacles also disappear from the life of a student, will make the classes easier, will give opportunities for Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana, can facilitate all of this. So here are the three factors by which Mumukshutvam can grow from being a lukewarm quality to a Tivra Mumukshu. What are the three factors? Vairagyam, Shamadhi Shakka Sampattihi and Guru Kripa. And so then we see that initially when the value for moksha can be the last priority for us in life, there seem to be other urgent things to handle and address. Yeah? But when we earn the grace of the Guru, when we develop Vairagyam and the Shakta Sampattihi, we find that Mumukshutvam begins to climb up that priority ladder. It comes within the top 10, then the top 5. And when it is the topmost priority, then the Mumukshutvam is considered to be Tivra Mumukshutvam. Mandamadhyama Rupapi Vairagyena Shamadina Prasada Guru Seyam Pravriddha Suyate Phalam. Now, next shloka, number 29. Acharya talks about two important qualifications. Vairagyam cha mumukshutvam, Vairagyam cha mumukshutvam, Tivram yasya tu vidyate, Tivram yasya tu vidyate, Asminnevar Vartavantasyuhu, Asminnevartavantasyuhu, Phalavantah Shamadayaha, Phalavantah Shamadayaha. Now here Acharya says is definitely Mumukshutvam is a very important qualification, but so is Vairagyam. These two are very important and interdependent. When we enhance the Vairagyam, Mumukshutvam increases. When Mumukshutvam is more, then it impacts the Vairagyam also. So here, Vairagyam cha Mumukshutvam Tivram yasya tu vidyate. For one who has Tivra Vairagyam and Mumukshutvam, that is a very high sense of objectivity, dispassion towards the world, and who has a desire for moksha, both of which is Tivra, intense, what asmineva arthavantaha syuh, Shamadayaha. This Shamadama Adi Shakka Sampattihi, for that person, they will all become what? Arthavantaha, and Phalavantaha. Arthavantaha means they will become meaningful. And Phalavantaha is they will bear fruit. In the sense that they will all come together and there will be moksha siddhi. So when vairagyam and mumukshutvam are there in adequate measure, tivra, intense, then all the other qualifications will come easily. For example, you take a boy, a teenage boy who is a great fan of cricket. He is watching the IPL cricket match without any other thought. So he will have such a chitta ekagrata, concentration and focus, and he may even ignore his meals. Yeah, there's an absorption, and the mind becomes totally one-pointed. And such an intense absorption is there because there is a value for the game, cricket. So too, here it is talked about that when the mumukshutvam and vairagyam is tivra, then alone everything will bear fruit. Otherwise, there will be a casual approach. Then all these qualities, shamaha, damaha, uparatihi, they may be there, but they are there only as an appearance, as an adornment. So that is why Puja Swamiji in many courses earlier on would not allow students to record the Vedanta classes. Even today there are some teachers who don't allow. Why? Because when we know that there are recordings available on YouTube, on the net, then we postpone the understanding. We are not that alertly listening. So it becomes a casual approach. Yeah. And I will think that, this knowledge, I can listen to it anytime. What is the hurry now? Now I have other important things to attend to. So that mumukshutvam will be very casual approach. And later on, even when we listen to a recording, then we will not listen to it with a very vigilant, alert attitude. That is why listening to live sessions is very, very important for a mumukshu. Okay. Now, let's go to the 30th shloka here. एतयोर्मन्दता यत्र विरक्तत्वमुमुक्षयोः एतयोर्मन्दता यत्र विरक्तत्वमुमुक्षयोः मरौ सलिलवत्तत्र शमादे भानमात्रता. So earlier Acharya talked about when Vairagyam and Mumukshutvam are present. That is called Anvaya, co-presence. Here in this shloka number 30, Acharya is talking about Vyatireka, means the absence. Etayoho mandata yatra viraktatva mumukshayoho. So etayo, these two. When these two, that is virakti, that means dispassion, and mumuksha, mumukshutvam, both are manda. Manda is feeble. Yatra, where both of them are feeble, not an adequate measure. Tatra what? Shamade bhana matrata. All these shakka sampatti, shamadamadi shakka sampatti will be bhana matra. Bhana matra means just an appearance. They won't have a solid, tangible reality. They will just be an appearance. Like what? Marau salila vat tatra. Salila means water. Water in a desert land. Marau salilavat means the mirage waters. Now we know mirage waters is mithya. There is no use for them, mirage waters. Yeah, one cannot wash the hands, fruitless. So too, if Vairagyam and Mumukshutvam is not there, then the whole approach becomes academic, casual, intellectual, and it will not bear fruit. Yeah, there is no use. Moksha is not gained. So here, the main message here is, may we cultivate Mumukshutvam and Vairagyam. And Ramakrishna Paramahansa gives the example, what is an indication of Tivra Mumukshutvam? If there is a situation of, when the hair is on fire, I have a hypothetical situation, then what will the person look for? What is the most urgent thing to do when the hair is on fire? Is to look for some water somewhere to put out the fire. So that is the Tivra Mumukshutvam. So when I know that I will not settle for anything less in life, this is the top priority. I want to be free and I have to gain knowledge. For that, Gurumevabhi Kache Samit Panihi Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. So I approach the Guru and endowed with Shraddha and humility and ask for this liberating knowledge. So now Viveka Chudamani is going to explain all the stages. After describing the Adhikaritvam, now how the Shishya will approach the Guru and what kind of Guru and what are the questions the Shishya is going to put to the Guru and how the Guru, out of unconditional compassion, accepts the Shishya and proceeds to remove all the moha and the shoka from the Shishya's mind. And so the next verses from 31 onwards, there is a mention of bhakti also. Now, we may think that all these qualifications, the fourfold qualifications, sadhana, chatushtayam, they may be so advanced, maybe they are only meant for Nachiketa and some Vivekananda, but I am in samsara, how can I hope to get all these qualifications? If we think like that, then true, there are Uttama Adhikaris like Nachiketa who are already well accomplished in the sadhana chatushtayam. But if we did not have it in some measure, we would not even have studied the Gita, we would not even be able to log in to the sessions. Yeah? So there are these threefold obstacles for everyone. Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika. And especially for a mumukshu also. But by Guru Kripa, all these obstacles will be removed, and once we change the trend in the mind, then Ishvara Kripa, Guru Kripa, Atma Kripa, Shastra Kripa, they all come and the Mukshu gains momentum on that Shreyo Moksha Marga. And one prayer that we have all learnt and we can chant for improving Adhikaritvam is Kamalaja Daitashtakam, chorus line. Shuddham Vidyam cha Buddhim Kamalaja Daite Sattvaram Dehi Mahyam. Shuddham Vidyam cha Buddhim Kamalaja Daite Sattvaram Dehi Mahyam. O Kamalaja Daite, please grant me the Shuddha Vidya, Moksha Vidya and the Buddhi, Chitta Shuddhi, right now, Sattvaram. So prayerful living and examining, self-examination with the checklist of Shatka Sampattihi, improving the Vairagyam and all these earning the Guru's grace will improve the Mumukshutvam, and when the Mumukshutvam is adequate, then the Moksha Siddhi will happen. Om Tat Sat. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ